Hello all, I am the Holland Phantom, and for today's video we're going to be having a live battle from the 2003 Neo to Skyridge format. On one side, we got the Sneasel and Pikachu deck, as used by me, the Holland Phantom, going up against the Scizor, Muck, and Furret deck, also known as SMF, as used by 3-time world champion Jason Klaczynski. And yes, I know that Sneasel was actually banned during this time by Wizards of the Coast, but you know what, they're not in charge anymore, and it's my channel. And besides, I like Sneasel, and wanted to give it a chance to redeem itself after the disaster from last time.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
So we'll see which of these two decks can take the victory today. But before we begin, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel and to my Twitter account at Holland_Phantom so you don't miss out on any new Pokemon TCG content. And now with that out of the way, let's get into the battle! And here we go, the battle has started, with both players flipping over their starting Pokemon. On the Sneasel side, we've got Cleffa as the active Pokemon with the Sneasel on the bench, and on the Scizor side, we've got Scyther as the active Pokemon. The Scizor side is one first, activating their supporter card Pokemon Fan Club, to search the deck for a Sentret and a Cleffa to place onto the bench. So starting off by putting some support Pokemon into play, followed by the Goldberry coming down to the active Scyther, which then gets a Warp Energy to force it out of the active spot. It is replaced with a Cleffa, which then retreats for free to re-promote the Scyther. And there's the attack, slash attack, here's the coin flip. And it's going to be a Tails, it does nothing. As Cleffa is a baby Pokemon, it is protected by the baby rule during this format. So if a baby Pokemon tries to be attacked, the attacking player does have to flip a coin. If they get Tails, the attack does nothing and their turn automatically ends. Okay, now over to the Sneasel side, the player activates Pokemon March. So both players get to search their deck for a basic Pokemon to put onto their bench. So we got another Scyther and a Pikachu coming down. The next card is going to be a build to draw 2 more cards. Another Sneasel comes down to the bench now. It is the main attacker. And now the first one's going to be getting a Goldberry, same as his Scyther. And there's the first attachment. It's going to be a Rainbow Energy onto the Cleffa to fully power it up. And there's the attack, eek! The player gets to shuffle away their hand to draw 7 brand new cards. They're going to be trying to search their deck for some Darkness Energies to power up their Sneasel. Okay, back over to the other side. The player's going to be activating a Pokemon Trader to swap out Grimer from the hand for any Pokemon from the deck, and the one chosen is going to be a Scizor. To evolve the active Scyther, it's going to be the main attacker of this deck. Now the next card is going to be Professor Elm to shuffle a player's hand away, and now they can draw 7 brand new cards that has the exact same effect as Cleffa's attack, but now they can't play any more trainer cards for the rest of their turn. So kind of like a precursor to modern-day supporter cards. Okay, yes, they did get a Metal Energy to equip onto the active Scizor. It can use its first attack. And now the Sentret evolves into a Furret to activate the ability Scavenger Hunt. The player can shuffle away 2 cards from their hand for any energy card from the deck, and the one chosen is going to be a Metal Energy to equip on the following turn. There's the attack, Snatch. Here's a coin flip. Does it go through? And yes, it does. So Cleffa is KO'd, and Scizor takes the first prize card of the game. Okay, on the Sneasel side, Pikachu comes into the active spot. It's going to be another baby Pokemon. And now it gets a Focus Band, followed by Rainbow Energy. Pikachu takes 10 damage from that. And there we see a Double Gust. So both players get to drag up one of their opponent's bench Pokemon into the active spot. So the new Pokemon are going to be a Furret and one of the Sneasel. Although it doesn't really matter to the Sneasel player, as all their Pokemon do have a free retreat cost. So Pikachu comes right back into the active spot now. Here we see another Cleffa coming down, followed by Professor Elm. To shuffle away the hand, drawing another 7 cards. Let's see if they get any more Pokemon to place onto the bench. As like I said, once the player activates Professor Elm, they can't use any more trainer cards for the rest of the turn. Okay, no more cards are played. There's the attack, Zap. Hitting every Pokemon with the Pokemon Power, Poke Power, or Poke Body for 20 damage apiece. So Furret takes 20, Scizor only takes 10, as it is shielded from 10 damage by its special Metal Energy card. And now Furret activates Scavenger Hunt to shuffle away 2 cards from the hand for a Warp Energy. The player's going to be using it to get this Furret out of the active spot. Okay, there it goes. Furret goes back to the bench, once again promoting the Scizor. And can they get the KO this turn? There's the attack. And here's a coin flip. Does it go through the baby power? Yes, it does. The player does get a heads, although it does activate the focus band. So now the player has to flip another coin. Here it is. And it's going to be a heads on this side as well, so Pichu is not KO'd. It's down to 10 HP remaining, and now the focus band is discarded. Okay, on the Sneasel side. Okay, the player finally gets her first Darkness Energy into play, coming down to the first Sneasel, and there we see Energy Removal 2. Here's another coin flip. And it's going to be a heads to discard the Metal Energy off the Scizor. So now Pichu can hit it for full damage with its Zap attack. But first, there we see another Pokemon March. Once again, both players are going to be looking at their decks for some more basic Pokemon to put down. There we see a Cleffa for the Scizor player, and another Pichu for the Sneasel player. Both sides are nearly full on their bench. And there we see another Professor Elm. So with this, they might be able to get their 5th Pokemon to fill up their bench. As Sneasel does get stronger, the more Pokemon it has on its side of the field. Did they get another Pokemon? And yes, they did. The 3rd Sneasel comes down to fill up the bench. And there's the attack, Zap, from the Pichu, hitting Scizor and Furret for 20 damage apiece. Back over to the Scizor side. Okay, there's the Metal Energy to replace the one that was just discarded on the previous turn. And now it looks like the Furret is going to be getting a Gold Berry to heal the 40 damage off of itself between turns. Now the player's going to be activating their supporter card, Copycat, to shuffle away their hand and draw cards equal to the number of cards that their opponent has in their hand. Okay, now there we see the Furret activating Scavenger Hunt once again, shuffling away 2 cards to get another Metal Energy card out of the deck to power up the Scizor on the following turn. Okay, there's the attack, another Snatch attack. Here's the coin flip. Does it go through? Oh, it's going to be Tails that time. It does nothing. So Pichu is going to be remaining in play to deal some more damage. And there's another Energy Removal 2. Here's the coin flip. And it's going to be another heads, once again discarding the Metal Energy. The Sneasel player is not giving Scizor the chance to be fully powered up. Okay, now the benched Pichu is going to be getting a Recycle Energy to power it up, followed by Copycat. Same as the previous turn. To shuffle away the hand to draw some more cards. The player is still digging through their deck for some Darkness Energies to fully power up their Sneasel. Oh, and also they're reminding their opponent to activate their Goldberry, as it should have been activated in between turns. So now Furret is back up to full HP. Okay, now the player activates Bill to draw 2 more cards out of the deck. Followed by Professor Elm. So it looks like they did not get anything useful out of those 2 cards from Bill. So they shuffle away the entire hand for another 7 cards. So this might be the hand that gets them the 2nd Darkness Energy that they need for the Sneasel. Okay, there's the attack. Another Zap attack from the Pichu, hitting Scizor and Furret for 20 damage apiece. And now Scizor activates its own Goldberry, healing 40 damage off of itself. So it's up to 70 HP now. Okay, let's see what the player can do. They get their next Metal Energy onto the Scizor. Let's see if this one sticks, followed by another Copycat. A lot of shuffle and draw coming through from both players. Here are the new cards. The player might also be looking for some power charges to get their energy cards from the discard pile back into the deck. Okay, they didn't get it, but there's the attack, and it's going to be a heads on the coin flip. The attack does go through. Pichu is KO'd, and that is the 2nd prize card taken by Scizor. Okay, there we see the next Pichu coming into play. Did they get the Darkness Energy? And yes, they did, finally. So the Sneasel is now fully powered up. It can potentially take the KO. Okay, but the player's going to be opting to use Pichu to spread some more damage onto the Scizor and the Furret. Although Scizor only takes 10 damage because of the Metal Energy. And there's the next Metal Energy, so that should be the final one in the deck. Okay, and there's the Power Charge. Here's the coin flip. Oh, and it's going to be Tails. It does nothing. Otherwise, they could have gotten those discarded Metal Energy cards back into the deck. But now they can attack with the Heavy Metal attack. Oh, although the player does get Tails, it does nothing. Okay, on the Sneasel side. Now the 2nd Sneasel is going to be getting a Darkness Energy followed by Copycat. A lot of Copycat cards flying back and forth. Okay, do they have another Pokemon to fill out their bench now? Oh, not yet, but here's another energy removal, and... oh, it's a Tails that time! It does nothing, so Scizor remains with all 3 of its energy cards. Here's another build to draw another 2 cards out of the deck. I think they should have access to 1 more energy removal, too. Okay, there's the attack. Zap, hitting... oh, just the Furret this time, as Scizor no longer takes damage from Pichu. But Furret is down to just 10 HP. Okay, the Scizor player plays no cards. They go straight for the attack. Heavy Metal, and they get ahead, so Pichu is KO'd. And that is the 3rd prize card taken by Scizor. While the Sneasel player is not taking anything. They have to start taking some KOs to get into this game. But now Sneasel finally comes into the active spot. And there's another Copycat. What do you know? Okay, the player might be looking for another Pokemon to put onto their bench. As Sneasel's attack beat up, flips coins equal to the number of Pokemon they have on their side of the field. And then deals damage for every heads. Okay, there's another Pokemon March. They get another Pichu to fill out their bench. And the Scizor player... oh, they got nothing, actually. They did not search out any Pokemon. Okay, now the new Pichu is going to be getting a Recycle Energy. So if Pichu is powered up, it can take the KO against the Furret. If the player wants to. And... oh, it looks like that might be the play. Yeah, Sneasel's going to be retreating to promote the Pichu. So they're going to be going after the Furret on the bench to get rid of the opportunity for the opponent to search out their deck for some more energy cards. And yeah, there's the attack, Zap. Now Furret is KO'd, and the Sneasel player finally takes their first prize card, but they're still 2 prizes behind. Okay, the Scizor player activates Power Charge once again, and... okay, they do get ahead that time. They can search the discard pile for up to 2 energy cards to shuffle back into the deck. And that's going to be both of the discarded metal energies. So they can either use those energy cards to put onto the active Scizor, or to power up a new one on the bench. Okay, there we see a Pokemon fan club now to search the deck for a Sentret to put onto the bench now. The player's going to be trying to evolve into another Furret to keep using the Scavenger Hunt ability. Okay, there we see a Rainbow Energy coming onto the bench Scyther now, so the player might be evolving this Scyther, but first they activate a Double Gust to bring the Sneasel into the active spot, along with the Sentret. Sentret does have a retreat cost of 1. Oh, but the player has a Balloon Berry to pay the retreat cost, and now Scizor comes back into the active spot, and Scizor could possibly take the 1-hit KO against the Sneasel. There's the attack. Here's the coin flips. And they're both heads. So Sneasel takes 70 damage. It is KO'd before it even gets a chance to attack. And that is 4 prizes taken by the Scizor player. They're really in the lead. There we see the next Sneasel coming into the active spot. There's the next energy removal. And another Tails. And I think that should be all 4 of the energy removals. Okay, here's the energy charge for the Sneasel player. They do get a heads. The same as the Scizor player. They can search out the discard pile for the 2 darkness energies to shuffle back into the deck. And also, fun little fact, I don't know if you guys caught it. The players activated Power Charge and Energy Charge. They have different names, although they're technically the same card. Okay, the player has Rainbow Energy to place onto the Sneasel to fully power it up. And there's the attack, Beat Up. The player flips 5 coins. Let's see how many heads they get. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Hitting for 90 damage. Minus 20 from the 2 metal energies. And that is going to be enough for the KO. And that is the second prize card taken by Sneasel. Okay, let's see if they can catch up, as the Scizor player does not have any attackers fully powered up in play. Okay, never mind. They do have a Scizor now with the metal energy, but the player's going to be trying to power it up before it attacks. Okay, on the Sneasel side, the bench Sneasel now gets a Rainbow Energy, takes 10 damage from it. And now the active one tries to attack through the baby power. Okay, they do get a heads. Now they get to flip 5 coins. They just need to get 1 heads for the KO. Did they get it? And yes, they did. It looks like they got 3. So more than enough damage. And that is the 3rd prize card taken. And Sneasel is catching up, and now they have to contend up against another Scizor. It just needs one more metal energy to be fully powered up. There's a Pokemon Trader, swapping out a Muck from the hand, possibly for the Furret, and now they can use Furret to search out the next metal energy. And yeah, there's a Scavenger Hunt to shuffle away 2 cards from the hand. Getting back one of the metal energies that was shuffled back in. Now Scizor is fully powered up. And there's another copycat. Shuffle and draw some more cards. Okay, so just in case the Scizor goes down, is the player going to be trying to set up another one? Okay, they have a Gold Berry to equip onto the Scizor to potentially heal some damage off of it, and there's the attack. Heavy Metal. They flip 3 coins, 1 for every metal energy. And it's 1 head, so it's enough to take the KO against Sneasel, although it does activate the Focus Band. Let's see if it works. And yes, it does. Sneasel is not KO'd. It's down to just 10 HP remaining. So it does have a chance to take the KO against his Scizor if it gets lucky with its coin flips. Okay, now the bench Sneasel's going to be getting a Darkness Energy, so that one is fully powered up as well. And the player also benches a Tyrogue. Now they can have a full bench, so they can flip the full 6 coins. And they get another Focus Band onto the active Sneasel to potentially protect it against another KO. And there's the attack. Beat up. Here's the 6 coin flip. And it's... oh, that is a lot of heads. 4 heads. That should be enough for the KO. Yeah, that is enough. So Scizor is KO'd. And now both sides are tied at 2 prizes remaining apiece. Sneasel has caught up. Okay, now Cleffa comes into the active spot. There are no attackers on the Scizor side. The player activates Town Volunteers to search their discard pile for 2 Scyther, 2 Scizor, and a Cleffa to shuffle back into the deck. But are they going to have enough time to get the Scizor back up and running before the Sneasel player takes the game? Let's see what they can do. Okay, they place Grimer on the bench. Okay, so they're going to be trying to take the KO against Sneasel with a Grimer, as Sneasel is down to just 10 HP remaining, and Grimer can hit for 10 damage. Grimer's going to be getting a Water Energy. And now, yeah, it's going to be the attacker. The player has nothing else to deal damage for right now, so they're going to be going with this Grimer. There's the attack. Nasty Goo. Here's a coin flip, and it's going to be heads to potentially paralyze the Sneasel if the Focus Band does protect it. And yes, it does. Another heads on the Focus Band. Sneasel is not KO'd, but it is paralyzed because of Grimer's attacks, so Sneasel cannot attack this turn. Oh, but never mind. The player has a double gust to bring up their opponent's Furret. And now this Sneasel's going to be going back to the bench. Yeah, and their opponent's just going to be opting to bring up the new Sneasel, as they already know that's what's going to be happening anyway. As like I said earlier, all Pokemon in the Sneasel deck have a free retreat cost. Okay, there's the attack. Beat up. They need to get 3 heads for the knockout. Oh, and they only got 2! So beat up only deals 50 damage. Not quite enough to take the KO against his Furret. So let's see if they can get it out of the active spot. They should be able to, as Furret can search out the deck for energy cards. Oh, but actually they have a double gust of their own to bring the damaged Sneasel back into the active spot. And now the Sneasel player is just going to bring up the Grimer, as that was going to be the choice anyway. As Cleffa does have a free retreat cost, if that was going to be the one chosen. There we see another copycat. The player's going to be shuffling their hand away to draw some more cards, trying to dig through the deck for that next Scyther and Scizor. Did they get the Scyther? Not yet, but there's another power charge. Here's a coin flip. And it's going to be a heads to search the discard pile for some more metal energies to shuffle back into the deck. And yeah, it looks like this Grimer will be taking the KO against the Sneasel. Oh, but first there's another Gold Berry onto the Furret to heal 40 damage off of it between turns. And there's the attack, taking the KO against Sneasel. Taking the 5th prize card for the Scizor player, they're down to just 1 prize remaining. Now between turns, Furret is healed of 40 damage. And now the next Sneasel comes into play. And there's another Pokemon March. Both players once again search the deck for some more basic Pokemon. So there's the Scyther and the next Sneasel. So the Sneasel player still has to take 2 more prize cards. Oh, but they use a Double Gust to target down the new Scyther that was just put down into the bench. Yeah, Cleffa comes into the active spot, immediately retreats to promote the Sneasel, sorry. And there's the attack, beat up. The player just needs to get 2 heads to take the KO. And... oh, they only got 1! They're not taking any KOs with Sneasel. Scyther only takes 30 damage. And there's a Pokemon trader swapping out Mantine for... this should be the Scizor. Yeah, Scizor finally comes into play, but it does not have any energy cards to attack. And it's also stuck in the active spot right now. Okay, there's the scavenger hunt from the Furret to search out the first metal energy. Yeah, there it is. Although the Scizor is stuck in the active spot, it might be getting KO'd on the following turn. Oh, never mind. There's another Balloon Berry to retreat the Scizor, once again promoting the Grimer. So Grimer might be able to paralyze the Sneasel, so it can't attack on the following turn. There's the attack. Nasty Goo. And yes, the player does get heads. Sneasel is paralyzed. It cannot attack or retreat. Oh, but the player has another Double Gust, bringing the Scizor back into the active spot. The active Sneasel is going to be going back to the bench to heal it of its paralysis. Yeah, Pichu comes onto the active spot, retreats to promote Sneasel, and it's now no longer paralyzed. It might be able to take the KO against the Scizor. There we see a Recycle Energy coming out of the Tyrogue, and there's the attack. Beat up. Here's the 6 coin flips. And 2 heads. That's enough for 50 damage, I think. Minus 10 for the Metal Energy. Yeah, it's not enough. It's only 10 damage short of the KO. Scizor remains in play. But it is down to 10 HP remaining, and the player... I think they used up all their gold berries already. Okay, they're going to be using the Scavenger Hunt to get another Metal Energy card, so Scizor can at least use its first attack for 20 damage. Not quite enough to take the KO against anything, actually. Yeah, there's the attack. Snatch, hitting for 20 damage. Sneasel is down to 20 HP remaining. There we see an energy charge. And the player does get a heads, so they can search their discard pile for some more energy cards. It's going to be the Darkness Energy and a Rainbow Energy to shuffle back into the deck. You have to try to power up the bench Sneasel as the active one. It's pretty close to being KO'd. Okay, there's the next beat up attack. Let's see if they can take the KO against this Scizor. Oh, and yes, they do. Easily. They get 4 heads that time. More than enough to take the KO against Scizor. And that is the 5th prize card taken. Both sides are tied at 1 prize remaining apiece. It's a really close game. Okay, yeah, Cleffa's going to be retreating to promote this Grimer. There's the attack, Nasty Goo. If Grimer can paralyze this Sneasel to prevent it from attacking, oh, it could have potentially won the game if it paralyzed this Sneasel. Yeah, okay, the Sneasel's going to be getting another Darkness Energy to give it more attack power. And there's the attack. Let's see if it can finish it off. Beat up. Here's the 6 coin flips. And yeah, 4 heads. Easily more than enough for the 1-hit KO to take the final KO and the final prize card. And there's the handshake. Sneasel is your winner. So what did you guys think of that battle? Let me know down in the comments below. And be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share this video to help this channel grow and reach new viewers. Thanks a lot for watching, and until next time, this is the Holland Phantom logging out.